Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the story about Naruto. What if Naruto was the second Juubi 10 Tales Part 2? Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please do support for more awesome content and also hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends and also support the creator of this fanfic. I have created many playlists, check it out in the channel. So let's start the video. Itachi stirred as he woke from his slumber. His eyes fluttered open as he sat up from his bed. He looked around at his surroundings and found that he was in a cave barely lit by a small torch. He looked down and saw two things. One was that he was now a she and that his midsection was wrapped in bandages. "So you've awakened," a voice said from a shadowed corner of the room. Naruto walked out from the darkness. "You were in bad shape after our battle," Naruto said with a small smirk. Itachi's eyes widened when he said that. He remembered trying to recruit the blonde but ending up battling him. He remembered the blonde turning into a black-colored tailed beast and fighting him. Then at the end, where the blonde demon fired a beam of lightning. "You were that monster that I was fighting?" she gasped. Naruto looked at her and nodded. "Yes, that was me, but that's not important right now. Let's start with some simple questions. Who are you really?" Naruto asked the black-haired girl. Itachi, while not wanting to, was in no condition to resist at the moment. "My real name is Izumi Uchiha. I am one of 4 remaining Uchihas in the world," she answered the blonde's question. Naruto smiled and nodded. "Thank you, Izumi-san. Now I already know why you killed your clan, so you will not have to explain that to me," he said to her surprise. Naruto's smile turned into a frown, but back to business. "What have you learned about the Akatsuki so far?" Izumi sighed. "For now we're just trying to gain more funds by doing jobs around the elemental nations, but we will soon start to hunt the Jinchuriki. I can't tell you anymore," the raven-haired woman said to the blonde demon. Naruto just stared at her in the eyes. Izumi felt as if her world was getting set ablaze by the simple stare the blonde was giving her. "Very well, now before we continue I'll let you ask a few questions of your own," Naruto said as he took a seat at the base of the bed. "Who are you?" Naruto smiled. "That's a good question. Well, my name is Naruto Namikaze. I am currently a genin, but only because the Hokage doesn't trust me with a higher rank yet. My team is made up of Kazumi Haddock, Sayuri Uchiha, your sister, and Narumi Uzumaki Namikaze, my cousin," Naruto said with a smile. Izumi thought over the information she was just given. The man in front of her was a genin on her sister's squad, yet he could defeat her in combat. "What are your intentions?" she asked the blonde demon. "Well, my goal in life is simple in nature, but hard to obtain. I want world peace, but not the kind that the Madara wants, but true peace through understanding," Naruto said to the former male. "Now I believe that it is my turn to ask you a question, Izumi-san," Naruto said to the Uchiha. Izumi nodded and motioned for him to proceed with his questioning. "Tell me why you were disguised as a male in the first place," Naruto asked. Izumi looked down at the bed as tears built up in her eyes. "My father never truly loved me. He was always disappointed in me for being a female. He didn't want a weak heir, and to him females were weak. So he decided that his next child would be the next head of the clan, not me. But Sayuri was born, another daughter. Seeing that he had another daughter, he forced me to pretend to be a male so the clan would not lose face," she said, tears openly cascading down her cheeks like twin waterfalls. Naruto grit his teeth at what Fugaku had done to his daughter. What a horrible thing to do, to make someone act like another. It was disrespectful to life, nature, and females. Naruto moved over to Izumi and brought her into a comforting embrace. "That's terrible. I'm sorry that you had to go through that." Izumi blushed slightly when she felt Naruto's well-developed muscles under his shirt. Izumi steeled herself and stopped crying, pushing Naruto away. "There is nothing for you to be sorry about," she said to the blonde who was still smiling at her. Naruto looked at the door. "Well, it seems like our time is up since your partner is coming. I'll leave you 2 parting gifts as a show of trust to you. First is a seal that I put on your right hand which allows you to activate a genjutsu that will make you look like Itachi. It cannot be deactivated by anyone but you and me. Lastly, I'll leave you a Hiraishin kunai in case you ever want to talk with me," Naruto said as he handed her the small blade. "I'll take care of Sayuri, don't worry." Just as he said, Kisame burst through the wall. "There you are, Itachi," Kisame said as he bared his sword, the same Hana. Kisame was a tall man with pale blue skin with short black hair spiked upwards. Found you Itachi-san, the shark's name said to the now male again Uchiha. Kiss him Hoshigaki, the monster of the mist. Naruto said out loud to the two. Naruto made a single hand sign. Well, I already did what I needed to do so far, well. Naruto said as he walked towards the door. Kiss him, being the battle-loving monster he is charged with at the Namikaze. Oh no you don't, he yelled out as he swung at Naruto with his Samehada. Shinra Tensei, Naruto whispered, causing a blast of gravity to launch Kiss him back to the wall next to Izumi. Naruto glared at Kiss him with his Tengen active. Tell you leader that no matter how strong he thinks his eyes are, my will always be stronger. Naruto said as his eyes glowed red before he vanished in a blur of speed. Damn him, Kiss him said as he stood up slowly. Every bone in his body hurt like they had just been snapped. Come on Itachi, we have to report this to Pain-sama, he said as he started to walk out of the hole he made with Izumi slowly following him. From a rooftop Naruto looked down at the two with a smirk. This time the Akatsuki will not win. I will protect Konoha no matter the cost. He thought to himself before Hirai shining away. Next morning, Naruto, Narumi, and Sayuri waited for their sensei Kazumi to arrive at the training field. She was already 3 hours late for the test, and two of them were getting bored of just waiting. Kami. When will she get here? Narumi cried out to the heavens. Naruto, who was reading a book, held up 3 fingers. 3, 2, 1. Naruto said in a calm tone as Kazumi arrived via Shunshin the moment he said 1. You're late Kazumi-sensei. Naruto said as he closed his book. Kazumi looked away from her book at the 3, whatever. She sighed as pulled out 2 bells. Your test is to get these 2 bells. Those who do not get one will be sent back to the academy for another year. If you want one, come at me with the intent to kill. You have until noon to get one. Also, whoever doesn't get one doesn't get to eat lunch. She said as he tied the bell to her hip and placed a timer on a log. The bell test, Naruto thought as he remembered when he first took the test with Sasuke and Sakura. Begin, she said. Narumi and Sayuri jumped away and hid from the older Jonin. Naruto just stood still in his spot. Kazumi looked up from her book at Naruto. Well, it seems like the 2 girls know the basics of stealth, but this one seems rather rash. I wonder what he can really do. She thought to herself. You know you hide. You're just a genin, and I'm an elite jounin. There is no way you can beat me in a one-on-one fight. She said, dropping a hint. Naruto smirked. You shouldn't be so cocky, sensei. Naruto said as he readied 10 shuriken. Let's see you dodge this, Jinten light speed shuriken, Naruto said as he threw all of them. The 10 looked like yellow streaks through the air as they hit Kazumi before she could even move from her spot or draw a kunai. Sayuri and Narumi's eyes widened as they saw their team member seemingly kill their sensei in a single move. They were broken out of their stupor when they saw Kazumi turn into a log. The real Kazumi jumped out a tree at Naruto. She launched a kick at his skull. Naruto reacted quickly and caught the kick with his right hand and threw the silver-haired Kunoichi away from him. Don't underestimate me. Jinten, a bullet punch, he said as he appeared in front of Kazumi in a millisecond and delivered a series of punches, blasting her back from the force behind the attack. The older Kunoichi slowly stood up and faced Naruto. There is no way this is a genin. He's moving faster than Minato-sensei without his Hiraishin. Is this what Hokage-sama meant when he said that he wasn't normal? She thought to herself as she got into a stance. You're good, Naruto. I see what the Hokage meant when he said that you weren't normal, but from this point on I'll be in control. You have to jutsu down, but let's see how you handle Genjutsu. She said as she performed a few hand signs. The Kunoichi then faded away, demonic illusion tree binding death. A tree grew around Naruto, trapping him in place. Kazumi appeared out of the tree and put a kunai at his neck. Give up, I win. Naruto closed his eyes and smiled at the older woman. You shouldn't assume things about Kazumi-sensei, even more when you are already trapped in my genjutsu. Naruto said as he burst into a flock of crows. Kazumi's eyes widened as Naruto appeared in front of her. She narrowed her eyes at him and released her genjutsu. She moved her hair out of the way of her left eye to reveal her Sharingan. She closed her one normal eye, and now your genjutsu will not work. Sorry, sensei, but I still won. Naruto said to the Jonin who just looked at him. Don't believe me? Well, I'll have to show you, he said as the sky turned red and the sun black. The grass and leaves became white and the trees gray. Welcome to the Tsukuyomi, Naruto said as he vanished in a flock of crows. Kazumi's one visible eye widened at this. What? When did he get me? She thought, as chains came out of the bushes and wrapped around her arms, strumming her up, as chains shouted out of the ground and wrapped around her legs. Several crows gathered to form the right side of Naruto's face, torso, and arm. More crows gathered into a sword in Naruto's hand and put it to her neck. Give up, I may not be able to use this jutsu for the full length of 3 days, but 24 hours is good enough for this fight. He said to Kunoichi. The Tsukuyomi? But that's a Manjikyu jutsu, which means Hokage-sama was right, and he does have a variant of the Sharingan, she thought, as she tried to break out of the powerful Genjutsu. No matter what she tried, she couldn't break it. Damn, how could fall for a trap so easily? She sighed to herself, fine, I surrender. Naruto in front of her smirked as he vanished in a storm of birds. The world around her returned to normal as the Tsukuyomi dispersed. Kazumi fell to her knees, panting heavily. The real Naruto walked over to the downed Kunoichi and removed all the bells from her hip. Well, we're done, he said as the sun shined away. Narumi watched wide-eyed as her male counterpart easily took down an A-rank Kunoichi with little effort on his part. Sayuri was thinking something else. Those eyes? They were just like Itachi's the day he murdered our clan. Is he an Uchiha? She thought to herself in hope that there may be another Uchiha left beside her brother. Naruto's voice rang out onto the training ground, Sayuri-chan. Narumi-chan. The test is over, he said as he appeared on top of one of the log posts holding the 2 bells in his right hand. The 2 girls came out of the foliage into the clearing where Naruto and Kazumi were. Catch, he said as he tossed a bell to each of them. We either pass as a team or we fail as a team, Naruto said to the 2. So what is Kazumi-sensei? Pass or fail? Kazumi smiled as she looked on. You 3 ain't the first ones to pass my test. Starting next Monday we will start training and doing missions. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, she said to the 3. She took out her mature novel and walked away. Naruto smirked and sunshine away from the clearing, leaving the 2 Kunoichi best friends by themselves. Sayuri looked at her best friend, Narumi-chan. Is Naruto an Uchiha? She asked the blonde Kunoichi. Narumi shook her head. No, he isn't an Uchiha, sorry, she answered to her friend's disappointment. Why do you ask? She questioned her friend. Sayuri looked down with tears building up in her eyes. His eyes? His eyes reminded me of my brother Itachi's eyes when he killed my parents. They looked like the Manjekyo Sharingan my brother had, she answered her friend. Narumi looked her friend in the eyes and brought her into a hug. I don't really know what his eyes do, but I do know that they are called the Tengen, and it's supposed to be a powerful Dojutsu to allow him to do amazing things. I'm sorry I can't tell you more, but that is as much as I know about those eyes of his, she said to her friend. I'm sure he'll tell us more as we become closer to each other. Sayuri nodded and let go of her friend. Come on, let's go to the hot springs, Sayuri said as she put on a brave front. Narumi nodded happily and followed, neither noticing the crow watching them from a branch. The black bird flew away from the clearing after the 2 girls left the clearing. Hokage Tower. 9 jonin stood in front of the elderly cage. The old man sighed, so far 6 out of 9 teams have failed their test. Kazumi-chan, what about your team? He asked her. He already knew that the team had passed, he had been spying on them through his crystal ball. Team 7 composed of Narumi Uzumaki Namikaze, Sayuri Uchiha, and Naruto Namikaze passed, she said to the shock of her fellow jonin. Kazumi, can you please tell us how the team passed? Hiruzen asked the silver-haired Kunoichi. Kazumi nodded when the test started. Sayuri and Narumi tried to hide from me. Naruto stayed to fight. I completely underestimated him. His Jinten nearly killed me once when he threw shuriken so fast that they left streaks in the air. He further surprised me with his Taijutsu, and finally he trapped me in a Genjutsu that I wasn't able to escape from. I also confirmed that he does have a variant of the Sharingan and is able to use the ultimate Genjutsu of the Uchiha, the Tsukuyomi. She finished her explanation. The other jonin were shocked to hear how skilled a single genin was. To trap a jonin like Kazumi in a Genjutsu and use the Tsukuyomi no less was outstanding. Very well. Kurenai-chan, how about your team? Passed, the red-eyed beauty answered. Asuma-kun? The aged Kage asked his second son. Passed, as well, the bearded man said to his father as he took a drag from his cigarette. You want me to make a second coming of the Inoshikacho team, don't you? The old Kage nodded. Yes, the original worked extremely well, so a new generation would do the village good. Hiruzen answered his son's question. Very well, it seems like all the clan heirs passed this year. Dismissed, he said to the 9. Once the 9 had left, Hiruzen looked to the leftmost corner of this office. You can come out now, Rakudame Dono. The wood on the wall rippled to show that there was a genjutsu. Naruto walked out of the ripple and stared at the Hokage. Tell me, why didn't you tell Sayuri-chan that Itachi was actually a female named Izumi? Naruto asked the cage. Hiruzen hummed as he thought of a response. Sayuri-chan, as you know from your world, or Sasuke, as he was called, was seriously traumatized by that day. So was Sayuri. How would you feel if you found out that your entire family was lying to you all your life? The old man said to Naruto, who would just continue to stare at the old cage. Naruto finally spoke after an eternity of silence. I would feel like I couldn't trust anyone anymore. He finally answered. Hiruzen nodded. See, but can you tell me how you found out about her secret? Sandaime Hokage asked the blonde. Have you seen the space behind the Hokage monument? Naruto asked. The old man shook his head. No, I haven't. Why? Naruto chuckled nervously as he scratched the back of his head. Well, she came to me offering me a place in the Akatsuki and replacing Orochimaru theme. Hiruzen grimaces at the mention of his former student. I refused to join, so she had to fight me to the death, or until I joined. I defeated her, but I may have gone overboard a bit. Hiruzen nodded. I see. Well, I suggest you get ready for your date with Inuko tomorrow. The old man said with a perverted smirk. Naruto glared at the older cage. You were spying on me? Naruto said, as a tick mark appeared on his forehead. Saturday, in Inuzuka compound. Naruto walked towards the large gates wearing a burnt orange dress shirt and black pants. Wow, this place is exactly the same as the one in my world. And I can't believe that I'm going on a date with Kiba, Naruto thought as he made a gagging sound. No, this isn't Kiba, this is someone different. Naruto said in thought as he shook his head. He stopped at the gates where 2 members stopped him to check who he was. State your business with Inuzuka. One of the guards ordered. Naruto smiled. I'm here to pick up Inuko-chan for our date, Naruto said to the 2 whose eyes widened. The guard who stopped him bowed deeply. I'm sorry for the delay, Namikaze-sama, I should have known it was you. He begged for forgiveness. Naruto waved it off. It's no problem, you were just doing your job. Naruto said as he continued to walk forward. The compound was massive. It was mostly forests with buildings dotting the landscape. The largest one was the one in the direct middle, which he assumed was the clan head's home. As he walked through the compound, he was greeted by several members from the clan. As he arrived at the door, he checked to make sure that he looked decent. Seeing that he was good, he knocked on the door. Wait a moment, an angelic voice rang out from behind the door. Naruto waited for a few seconds until Inuko answered the door. To say Naruto was surprised was an understatement. Beautiful was the only thing that came out of his mouth as stared at the image of beauty in front of him. Inuko was wearing a light tan-colored kimono with a red sash around her waist. She had put her silk-like brown hair into a ponytail. She had a faint blush on her cheeks from being called beautiful. Hey, she said with a small stutter. While she was normally very confident, this was her first date that was not arranged. You look good, she said in a barely audible tone. Naruto smiled. Thanks, you look good too, he said as he offered his hand. Inuko slowly took the hand as the 2 started to walk out of the compound. 2 hours later, Naruto and Inuko sat side by side on the Hokage monument. They had a good date. They found that they liked the same things. The entire date was overall fun. That was a good date, Inuko-chan, Naruto said to the girl next to him. Inuko smiled. Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you for taking me to that restaurant, it seemed expensive, she said with a light blush. I was nothing, Naruto said with a kind smile that caused Inuko to blush. Inuko looked down. I was wondering if we could do this again later when we're free, she asked the blonde demon. Sure, but next week I have a date with Ino-chan, so I can't do it then, Naruto said to the brown-haired girl. No problem, she said as she stood up. I'm sorry, but I have to go now, she said to the blonde. Naruto grinned. Well, see you later then, Naruto said to the girl who started to walk away before she ran back and kissed Naruto on the cheek before running away. Naruto touched his cheek where Inuko had kissed him. The date with Ino the week after was equally as good as the one with Inuko, only that she was bolder than Inuko and wasn't afraid to cuddle. Both dates left him with one thing left to do: speak with the old man about the cra. Naruto walked into the large office. Sandaime Dono. I have something to ask you to do for me. The blonde Juubi said to the old man. And what would that be, Rakudame Dono? I wish to instate the Kra on myself, Naruto said to the old Kage, who let out a content sigh. Oh, thank Kami you decided. What do you mean? Naruto asked about the Hokage's relief. The council wanted to put you in the program by force, but you gave your consent, so there is no problem. I mean, having a S-rank Hokage level shinobi attack the village would ruin us, Rakudame Dono. Hiruzen said to the blonde with a slight chuckle, but he knew deep down that Naruto could wipe out the village if he wanted, so staying on his good side was a must. Stupid council could have destroyed us. Naruto narrowed his eyes at the mention of the council. They were the reason why his childhood was as bad as it was, since they were the ones to tell the village about the Kyuubi and manipulated the village against him. Why do you allow them to boss you around, Sandaime Dono? Naruto nearly growled at the man. What do you mean? I am the ruler of this village, Sandaime stated proudly as he narrowed his sight on the blonde former Hokage. Naruto smirked. Do you really think that? Who creates the academy curriculum? Naruto asked the old man, but already knew the answer. The council, but he was cut off by Naruto asking another question. Who runs the trade in the village and the current, as well as homing system? Naruto asked the man, who was now looking at him with wide eyes as realization came to him. Naruto smiled at this. He had reawakened the true Sandaime Hokage. Hiruzen's whitened eyes narrowed. They seemed to have a burning fire behind them now that was missing before. His expression turned serious as he slammed his palms on the desk as he stood up. The council. He yelled out in rage. He had finally seen the light. He had become soft, push-able, weak, but no more. The village has been in need of money since the Kyuubi attack, but it never seemed to have the funds. He saw it now, the damn civilian basters filling their pockets while the rest suffered. Anbu. Get your asses in here at this moment, he ordered. Two black-clad shinobi sunshine into the room in an attention stance. Hi Hokage-sama, they called out. Call the bloody council to the meeting room now, and if they aren't there in 30 minutes they are fucked, he ordered in a commanding voice that was the polar opposite of the grandfatherly tone that he had been using since he was reinstated. Hi Hokage-sama, the two said before sunshining away to do their mission. How does it feel to be back at Sandaime Dono? Naruto asked the now reawakened Kage. It feels good to be back, Rakudame Dono. Do you wish to join me at the council meeting? The Sandaime asked the blonde, who now sported a shit-eating grin. Oh, you bet that I'm ready to. Naruto said to the Sarutobi, who stood up from his desk and walked out of the room with Naruto in tow. This is going to be fun, Naruto thought as he and the Hokage arrived at the large room that was used for meetings. The room was currently filled with the clan heads from the Hyuga, Inuzuka, Aburame, Akamichi, Yamanaka, and Nara. And Asuma representing the Sarutobi, since his father was Hokage on the shinobi side, while on the right while the left was filled with the 11 richest civilians in the village. In between the two groups were the three village elders Danzo, Hamura Mitakato, and Kaharu Udatane. The shinobi side had 4 open spots for the Uchiha, Uzumaki Senju, and Namikaze, who weren't there at all, were all sitting in a large U-shaped desk. In the middle of the U was a chair with a large desk. The Hokage opened the door and walked in with Naruto right behind him. The Hokage took the seat in the middle, while Naruto took the Namikaze seat. One of the civilians decided to express his thoughts. Hokage-sama, why were we called here on such short notice? The man asked the old Kage. We are here to establish something. I have recently noticed that certain members of the council have been harming the village. So I, along with Naruto Namikaze, who will from now on act as the Namikaze representative, have decided to fix that. The Sandaime said as he glared at certain members of the council. From now on, all control over the banks of the village and trade go directly to me. Also, the civilian council will have no say in the academy curriculum. As of now, our village has become weak from letting greed run the village. The civilian council will also have no voice in shinobi affairs. This caused an uproar from the civilians, while the shinobi smirked at the fact that their leader was finally taking charge. Kaharu and Hamura were a bit worried that they were losing power in the council back to the Hokage. Danzo actually seemed to be smirking at this. Dismissed, the Hokage ordered as he and Naruto walked out of the room. As they arrived, and Danzo was already waiting for them. Danzo-san, what do you want? Hiruzen asked the bandaged man. I have come to congratulate you on coming back to your senses. Danzo said to the Hokage. Yes, it's good to be back. Hiruzen said to the other old shinobi. Also, I know that you still run route under my back," he said, much to the surprise of Danzo. "How did you know?" Danzo asked him, a little shocked that he had been found out. "You just told me," the Sandaime said with a victorious smirk. Danzo felt like he should bang his head on a stone wall for falling for that. "But I'm not punishing you. You have the village's best interest in mind, so I understand and want you to start route officially again. The village needs protection if your route is able to help. But on the conditions that you give a list of all current members, have them instated as Konoha Shinobi, and they must take missions from me and only me. Also, no more kidnapping or brainwashing. They must be loyal to the village and the Hokage. Those are all that you must agree to." Danzo seemed to think things over. On the upside, he could better protect the village now that he didn't have to hide from the world. On the downside, he would lose his personal army. The village comes first, he decided. "Very well, Saratobi. I will agree to your terms. I will send a member later this week with the roster," Danzo said to his old rival. Danzo then left the room to go prepare his reports. Sandaime turned to Naruto. "Was he truthful?" he asked the blonde. "Hi, he was honest. He is on our side now. I would still keep tabs on him though," Naruto said as he too turned to leave the office. "Oh, and please don't think that I would ever betray the village. I love this place, even if it's not the same as mine. As long as we work for peace in this world, I will always protect the will of fire," Naruto said as he vanished out the door. 2 months later, Naruto, Narumi, Sayuri, and Kazumi were standing in front of the Hokage, Danzo, and Iruka, who were going to assign them their next mission. They had just retrieved Tora for the 10th time that week and watched in utter joy as the cat was smothered by her owner. "Let's see, we have fence painting, gardening, or the Hokage was interrupted by a cry of Tora, no, or catching the cat." "No," Narumi yelled at the old man. "No way, Gigi, we have been doing nothing but D-rank missions for 2 months now, 2 months. I want a C-rank mission," she said with a pout. "Narumi, how could you disrespect the Hokage like that?" Iruka yelled at the girl who just glared at him. "Missions are ranked on difficulty, with D rank being the lowest and S rank being the highest. While I admit that your team is one of the strongest since the Sannin, you guys are still just academy graduates," Iruka stated. "I believe that they are ready," Danzo said out loud as he took a sip of some tea. "I know from observation that Narumi-san is at high chunin right now and low jonin with the Kyuubi, while Sayuri-san is at mid chunin now without her Sharingan. I don't even want to think about what level Naruto-san is, but I have an estimation, and if I'm right, the team could accomplish a C-rank mission easily," Danzo explained to the Hokage and Iruka. Saratobi looked at Danzo from the corner of his eye. "Are you sure, Danzo-san?" the Hokage asked the root leader, who quietly nodded his response. "Very well. Send him in," the Hokage called out as another old man walked through the door. The old man was a gray-haired, bespectacled man with a large beard and dark eyes. He wore a sleeveless V-neck shirt with an obi, pants, and a pair of sandals. He also carried a towel around his neck and wore a pointed hat on his head. "This is my protection, 2 little girls, a masked beauty, and the 4th Hokage," the man screamed as he fainted. Everyone in the room sweated and dropped at the old man mistaking Naruto as Minato. Half the village still accidentally called him Minato, and about half of them believed that Naruto was really Minato in disguise so that he could avoid the paperwork that came with being Hokage. Here is insight at the man's behavior. "Well, I'll explain your mission while we wait for him to wake up. This is Mastery Bridge Builder Tazuna. Your mission is to escort him back to his home in the wave so he can finish a bridge there. This is a C-rank mission and will be outside the village. There is also a low chance that you may encounter bandits on the way, so be careful." Once the Hokage finished the explanation, Tazuna had finally awakened. "Man, for a second I thought I had the 4th Hokage protecting me, what a dream," the old man said as he rubbed his sore head since his hand fainted on an oak floor. He looked back at the team and saw Naruto once more. "Holy shit, it wasn't a dream," he cried in joy. Naruto laughed nervously. "Actually, I'm not Minato Namikaze. I'm a relative of Naruto Namikaze. Sorry for the confusion," Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head sheepishly. Tazuna stared at Naruto. "Okay, Naruto, I'm sorry that I mistook you for Minato, Naruto." He added emphasis on the name Naruto as if he was saying them sarcastically. Naruto's sweat dropped. "Great, now someone outside the village thinks I'm Minato Incognito. Maybe I should change my hairstyle?" The blonde thought to himself. Well, we'll meet at the gates tomorrow morning at 6 am sharp, Kazumi said to her team and Tazuna. The old bridge builder just nodded. This gave him time to buy more booze to drink on the way home. As the team was about to leave, Narumi grabbed Naruto and Sayori's arm and flashed them to her bedroom. Naruto looked at her in shock as she and Sayori started to strip. Their clothes leave themselves in panties and bras. Narumi wore a burnt set while Sayori was wearing a black set. Next day, the three genin waited for Kazumi and Tazuna to arrive so that they could head out on their mission. When Kazumi and Tazuna arrived, the silver-haired Kunoichi noticed that the three seemed to have a sort of glow to themselves. I don't want to know, she thought. Little did she know that soon she too would have that glow. Team 7 and Tazuna had already left Konoha and were heading towards Nami no Kuni. They walked down the dirt path which was flanked on both sides by trees. The group of 5 passed by a lone puddle. Really, what were they thinking when they came up with this plan? Those two demon brothers sure are stupid, no wonder they were only C rank missing nin. Naruto thought as he stared at the puddle. Hey guys. I have to take a leak. Naruto yelled as he walked over to the puddle which held the two ninja. Right before Naruto got there, the two decided that it would be a good time to get out before a kid peed on them. Brat. I should have killed you for what you were going to do. Give us the old man, the one with one horn growled. Naruto recognized him as Gozu. They nuke nin readied claws only to fall unconscious from a chop to the neck delivered by Naruto as the other Naruto disappeared in a plume of smoke. Gozu, the other one, said, who Naruto remembered as Maizu, who had 2 horns on his forehead protector. The nuke nin launched his gauntlet at Naruto, who blocked the attack with his forearm which was covered in mechanical armor. What the? That was all he managed to say before Kazumi knocked him out. What should we do with them? Sayori asked her teammates, who looked at each other. We should tie them up and leave them for a group of Anbu to pick them up during their patrol. The silver-haired Kunoichi said before she turned to Tazuna, who was sweating bullets by now. Tazuna-san, can you please tell me why there were missing nin from Kiri trying to kill you? Kazumi asked the bridge builder. Tazuna sighed and decided that it would be for the best if he told them the truth. You see, the wave used to be a prosperous nation years back. We had trade and everyone was happy, but then Gato came to the wave and bought all the ports. In an island nation like Nami no Kuni, if you control the ports you control everything else. He acts as if he was our king. He sends his thugs and bandits out to rob us and even takes some of the girls in the village to become slaves for him, sex slaves. Tazuna said as he balled his fists and tears streamed down his cheeks. The 3 Kunoichi on the team looked enraged at the fact that Gato had turned several girls into sex slaves and in turn raped them. While this is clearly a B rank, if not A rank mission, there is no way in hell I will let this stand. Kazumi growled out with Sayori and Narumi agreed with her. Naruto smiled at this. He knew that this time he had the power to make sure that Haku and Zabuza lived this time. Good, then we have our true mission. Naruto said as he walked past everyone. Our mission is to liberate the wave. He said as he looked over his shoulder, giving the other 4 a confident smile. Tazuna smiled as tears of joy fell from his eyes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tazuna cried. The group walked until they came to a river. The air was now thick with mist that blocked their view of the other side. The ferryman allowed them on his small boat as he took them to the other side. During this trip the team saw the large bridge through the fog. Impressive, Narumi said as she appraised the bridge. Yep, that is my pride and joy. The hope of Nami no Kuni. Tazuna said with a proud smile. While the others were looking at the marvel of a bridge, Naruto was thinking about something else. We are almost to the spot where we ran into Zabuza-san and Haku-san. Thinking of Haku-san, I wonder if he is truly a girl this time around. The first time during the wave I thought he was a girl. I mean, what man wears a pink kimono? Naruto thought in his head. Hey Naru-kun? Sayori said as she shook his shoulder. What do you think will happen? This is now a B rank mission and it's our first one out of the village, she asked. And all she was excited and nervous at the same time. This was a chance to see how far she had gotten in her training to match her brother Itachi. She still thinks Itachi is a guy. But there was the chance that she could die too. Naruto smirked. Don't worry, Sa-chan, if we run into anything I'll take care of it. Naruto said as he leaned back and closed his eyes. While he appeared calm on the outside, he was still nervous about trying to save Haku and Zabuza without looking like a traitor. He had worked on his powers for 2 months now with his shadow clone training and had gotten better controls on his Sharingan, could form most of the skeleton, but not the muscle and skin on his Susanoo, and could now do Shinra Tensei every 10 seconds. He was able to recreate 2 techniques he once, but was keeping them a secret unless he needed to use them to protect his friends, though he had a feeling that this time the wave mission was going to be far more difficult than before. The group had finally arrived at the shore of Nami no Kuni and continued on foot. Eventually Narumi reacted to the same white rabbit that Naruto had reacted to in his own timeline. White fur? But it's summer? Kazumi thought to herself before she heard the sound of metal cutting air. Get down. She shouted to the group as she pulled Tazuna down to the forest floor, while Naruto did the same for Narumi and Sayuri. A massive butcher knife with 2 cutouts in it flew above them into a nearby tree. Naruto recognized the blade as the Kubikirabacho. On the handle of the blade was Zabuza Mamachi. Zabuza was a tall and noticeably muscular man with pale skin, short spiky black hair, brown eyes, and small eyebrows. He was wearing bandages like a mask over the bottom half of his face. He wore his forehead protector sideways on his head and was shirtless, with his chest only covered by a belt to which he attached his kubikirabj, wearing baggy pants with the striped pattern typical of Karigakure and mimetic wrist warmers extending up to his elbows, with matching leg warmers. Well, if it isn't Kazumi of the Sharingan, Zabuza said to the silver-haired Kunoichi. The air was thick with killer intent from Zabuza. Both Narumi and Sayuri were panting and gasping for air. Kazumi was sweating a bit from the pressure, while Naruto was completely unaffected, which was something Zabuza took notice of. And his little team of pretend ninja. You should learn not to underestimate your opponent, Zabuza-san. Naruto said to the former swordsman of the mist, who looked at Naruto like he was crazy. Or else you might just end up dead, he said. The moment the word dead left Naruto's mouth, Zabuza felt steel against his throat. He looked to his side to find Naruto standing next to him with a kunai. How is it? Zabuza exclaimed in shock as he looked back at Naruto standing next to his team. That Naruto then turned into a flock of crows that flew away. Man, I love doing that. No wonder why Itachi always started his battles like that. Naruto thought to himself in satisfaction that he had surprised the feared Zabuza Mamachi. Naruto then jumped away from the Kiri Newt Nin and stood next to his team once more. Well, kid, I'll give you that one. Maybe you aren't just a wannabe shinobi, the demon of the mist praised as he dislodged his blade from the tree he was standing on. Now the real battle begins. Haku, come out. I may need your help in this battle. Out of the trees another shinobi wearing a Kiri Hunter Nin mask jumped down. Haku's disguised as a Hunter Nin outfit consisted of the standard Karigakure pinstriped outfit which stopped at Haku's knees. Over this Haku wore a green haori with white trimmings, and around the waist was a brown sash with a fringed trail wrapped around Haku's waist twice. Haku also wore light brown platoon sandals with straps in the same color as the kimono and nail polish on the ninja's fingernails and toenails in matching blue-green color. When wearing this outfit, Haku's long hair was gathered in a white bun holder, while 2 locks of hair fell loose framing Haku's face, bound with metal hair cuffs at the ends. Kazumi-sensei, you take Zabuza, I'll take this Haku. Naruto said as he stood next to his sensei. Naruto separated from Kazumi's side and went towards Haku at unreal speeds. The masked ninja was quick to dodge and jumped back. Naruto chased after her before blurring out of existence and reappearing in front of Haku, delivering a swift punch to the face. Haku skipped along the forest floor a few times before correcting herself. Naruto could see the 2 small bulges through the haori and figured that she was binding them. So you are a girl? Naruto said with a small smirk. He performed a few hand signs before calling out, Jinten Sonic Kick, as he lashed out a kick into the air at sonic speeds, releasing a sonic boom that blew Haku back. I will not lose. I am Zabuza-sama's ultimate weapon. The now identified Kunoichi said before charging at Naruto with senbon in hand. Suiton gunshot jutsu, Haku said as she performed a few one-handed signs before she shot a ball of condensed water at Naruto, who blocked it with a shield he made with the Asura path. Give up. Jinten light speed shuriken, Naruto said as he threw 5 shuriken at unheard of speeds. Haku with her high speeds was able to dodge 3 of them but was cut by one on her left thigh and another one in her right arm. Luckily for her, Naruto wasn't aiming to kill, so she wasn't severely damaged. Never. Suiton exploding water colliding wave. Haku yelled as large quantities of water came out of her mouth and flooded the surrounding area. Naruto managed to jump onto a tall tree to avoid this, but knew that she now had the advantage since he still couldn't absorb normal chakra yet. She's stronger than Haku-san in my world, Naruto thought to himself before jumping out of the way to avoid a few senbon thrown by the ice user. Naruto created a clone, take this, Fujin, and Raijin Jutsu they called out as Naruto created a large tornado while the clone fired an electrical current into it. Haku managed to dodge the blunt of the attack but was still blown back by the fierce winds. This is it, 1,000 flying water needles of death, Haku said as several needles made up of water from her earlier jutsus rose and surrounded Naruto. I'm sorry, but this is your end. Haku said to Naruto as she let the needles shoot forward. Shinra Tensei, Naruto said as he blasted everything near him away from him. Now he knew why it was Nagato's favorite move, it was overpowered as hell. The Rinnegan was truly a gift from the heavens, unfortunately Madara had it too, so it was also a curse. Haku's eyes widened behind her mask as she watched one of her best attacks get deflected too easily. No way. Not even Zabuza-sama can escape that jutsu without getting wounded. She yelled in shock and a bit of fear. She knew that she had to go all out on this man to even have a chance to win. Secret jutsu. Crystal ice mirrors, Haku said as several mirrors made of ice rose from the water. There were 12 in ground level, 8 over them, with the last one in the center on top forming a dome. Well, this brings back memories, Naruto thought to himself as he watched Haku get into one of the mirrors. Haku's reflection appeared on every single ice mirror, making it look like she was everywhere at once. Well, this is a neat jutsu you have here, Haku-chan. Naruto said. This is your end. I wanted to avoid killing you since I can see that you have a bloodline like me, but it seems that now it's unavoidable. Haku said as she readied herself to attack by taking senbon into each hand. Farewell. Haku said as she started to move at high speeds, launching senbon into Naruto. Within a few seconds Naruto looked like a pincushion and fell to the ground. It's over, she sighed. Wow, how come all shinobi I meet are so overconfident? Naruto said as he rose up zombie style as all the needles fell off him. Naruto's cloak was now ruined with hundreds of holes, but his skin looked fine. You are going to need more than that to pierce my skin, he said as he knocked on his arm, which made the sound of metal hitting metal, revealing that he once again had the Asura Path armor on. Gotta love the Asura Path, he thought to himself. Actually, maybe I'm overusing it a bit, he thought as he deactivated the path. How many Kekkei Genkais does this man have? He is able to move at unreal speed, control gravity, and create armor on his skin. Haku thought to herself as she tried to figure out a way to attack him. Hey Haku-chan. I'm not going to use my armor anymore, this is getting boring. Naruto called out. Boring? He thinks this is boring. Haku thought in surprise. Well, if you're giving me this chance, then I will use this more to my advantage, she said as she renewed her attacks on the blonde, who this time dodged everything or blocked it with his sword. Hold still, she grit her teeth as she tried to hit him to no success. Well, I think it's time to end this, Naruto said as he pointed his hand right at her. Haku would have been surprised, but by now she knew that this man had completely outclassed her. Bansho Tenin, Naruto said as he pulled her towards him until he had her by the neck. Goodbye Zabuza-sama, she thought as she fell into unconsciousness. With Haku out of the fight, the mirrors fell, letting Naruto out. Naruto, however, instead of killing her, he put her over his shoulder and walked back to his team, who had tied up Zabuza and knocked out Kazumi. Hey guys, how did your fight go? Naruto asked them. His two teammates plus Tazuna gave him a look that said, see for yourself, since Kazumi was currently out of chakra and Narumi and Sayuri had a few minor cuts. Well, anyways, we should get to your house, Tazuna-san. The alcoholic nodded and led the way to his home. Naruto had created clones to carry the 3 unconscious ninja while he talked to his teammates. This place looks awful, Narumi said to her 2 friends' lovers. Yeah, how could anybody do this to someone? Sayuri said with a glare. She had a small flashback to the day her brother massacred the Uchiha clan. This is what happens when the greedy get too much power, Naruto said. His face was currently unreadable. He made a mental note to have Danzo send his route to kill off any other higher-ranking officials in Gato's company to make sure that no one ever took over Gato's place as a tyrant in Nami no Kuni. The team arrived at a 2-story house near the water. It actually stood on a platform over the water, suspended by several wooden posts. Hey Tsunami, I'm home. Tazuna yelled as he knocked on the door. The door opens to show a beautiful woman with dark blue hair and black eyes. She wore a pink shirt with red around the collar and sleeves. "Tusan, you're home," she exclaimed happily that her father had returned safely. Gigi, a small boy with spiky black hair and dark eyes. He wore green overalls and a yellow shirt with a blue and white striped hat. "Yeah, thanks to these ninjas. I would be dead if they weren't here," Tazuna said with a deep laugh as he pointed to the ninja. Tsunami noticed the three unconscious ones and couldn't help but ask, "Are those three all right?" Naruto was the one to answer since he was now in charge. "The silver-haired Kunoichi is our sensei Kazumi Haddock. The other two are attackers who we will interrogate once they awaken," Naruto said to the wave native. While she seemed a bit nervous about letting the enemy into their home, she trusted them since her father did. "Alright, I'll prepare some rooms for you guys upstairs. I'll have one of the women, and you can stay with Inari, my son. I'll give a separate room for your prisoners," she said to Naruto. "Actually, I'll stay with the prisoners," Naruto said, much to the surprise of his teammates. "Naru-kun, why would you stay with them? They might try to kill you," Narumi asked her lover. Naruto smiled back at her, a little too sweetly. "Just trust me, Naru-chan," he said, sending shivers down everyone's back. Narumi quickly nodded and shuffled away. Later that night, Zabuza stirred as he finally awoke from their slumber. "Where am I?" he asked himself before he realized that he was still tied up. He looked and saw the still unconscious Haku. "Looks like you lost Haku-chan," Zabuza said to himself. Yes, she did, he heard from a shadowed wall as two red-ringed eyes stared at him. "I have a proposition to give you, Zabuza-san," the man said. "Well shit," Zabuza thought to himself. Yes, she did, he heard from a shadowed wall as two red-ringed eyes stared at him. "I have a proposition to give you, Zabuza-san," the man said. Well shit, Zabuza thought to himself. He was completely at the man's mercy at the moment. He didn't have his sword and his chakra was sealed. "Who are you?" the eyebrowless Nuke Nin asked the ring-eyed man. The man just chuckled. "I guess I should introduce myself, shouldn't I?" the man said as he walked out of the shadows and into the moonlight. He started, but was cut off by Zabuza. "Minato Namikaze," the swordsman nearly screamed. The man just fainted. "No. I'm Naruto Namikaze. Why does everyone get me and him confused all the time? It's bad enough that it happens in Konoha, but now it happens outside of it as well." Naruto ranted in rage that even a former Anbu like Zabuza thought that he was his father. "That's it, I'm changing my hairstyle. Maybe I'll copy the original Rakuto Senin's hairstyle with the slicked back hair and two horn-like spikes. Yeah, that will do," Naruto planned in his head. Zabuza blinked a few times. "So you're not Minato Namikaze?" he asked the now annoyed blonde, who gave him a loud no. Okay, now what is this proposition you have? I'm useless now, since I have now weapon or chakra, so tell me what you want." Naruto smiled. "Oh, that's simple. I want information on Gato. I want to know where he lives, where he keeps his slaves, and where he keeps his money." Naruto listened as he looked Zabuza in the eyes. "Now what would I get from giving you this knowledge?" Zabuza asked the blonde, who glared at him. The tension was high in the room now. One wanted information, while the other didn't want to give up the information. "Now about your life," Naruto said as he leaked killer intent onto Zabuza, who started to sweat from the pressure. The blonde Juubi let out an amused chuckle. "I'll give you the manpower to take Kiri," Naruto answered. "How much manpower?" Zabuza asked Naruto. 100 Anbu," Naruto said. Now that he had Danzo on his side, he also had the Root Anbu as well. Root consisted of about 500 Anbu. All he had to do was convince the Hokage that giving aid to the rebels was a good idea. 100 able men? Zabuza questioned. How could one genin have the ability to call on so many ninja at a whim? No, it had to be a lie. There was no way that a brat, no matter who he looked like or who he was related to, had that much access to shinobis. Lies. Root, Naruto called out to the 5 Anbu Sunshine behind him. Naruto smirked. These are Root Anbu. They were made to be perfect shinobi. While the way they were trained took away much of their potential, since Danzo killed their emotions, they feel no remorse and have no fear of death. They are killing machines, Naruto said to Zabuza, who was now considering the blonde's deal. So if I agree, then will you assist me in becoming Mizukage? Zabuza asked Naruto just to make sure that he heard correctly. Correct, Zabuza-san. If you agree, I will tell the Hokage to send Root Anbu to help you. Naruto said as he dismissed the 5 Anbu. Naruto knew he had Zabuza in his palm. While he disliked using humans like tools of war, he wouldn't let Haku and Zabuza die once more. Zabuza sighed, "Fine, I will tell you everything about Gato on one more condition." The Demon of the Mist said. "Please take Haku-chan with you," he said as he looked down at the girl. "I know I treat her like she's a weapon, and for a while I believed that. But I recently started to think of her as more of a daughter. While she has been killed before, she is still too innocent to see war like that in Kiri." Zabuza explained to Naruto, who nodded. "War was a horrible thing." "Very well. I'll take Haku-chan with me. I'll protect her with my life. That is the promise of a lifetime," Naruto said with a gentle smile that was betrayed by his demonic red eyes. "Oh, and I want to fight you once the war finishes," Naruto said before he left the room, leaving Zabuza to think. "I think I just let the devil out on Gato," the demon thought to himself before he fell back asleep. 2 days later, Naruto was getting ready for his raid on Gato's mansion. He hadn't told his team since Root was involved, and it was top secret that was only known by the council, the Hokage, and himself. Since his cloak was destroyed by Haku during their battle, Naruto bought a new outfit to wear until he got back home. He was currently wearing a black muscle shirt and baggy black pants. Attached to his hip were his kunai and shuriken holders. He had covered his face with a anbo mask he had made using the Banbutsu Sozo, creation of all things. The mask was black with red around the eyes. "It's time," he thought to himself as he jumped out the window. Gato's home was directly northeast from his location. It was about 3 miles away, which for a ninja was nothing at all. They could run dozens of miles per day, plus being an Amicus, and Uzumaki never hurt since he had superior speed and stamina. As he ran through the forest, he stayed on the lookout for any of Gato's men. He knew that he couldn't go all out since he was on a small island, and a Biju appearing there would stir up all sorts of trouble for the small island country. A few minutes of running at super speed thanks to the Jinten, he arrived at a large building surrounded by a tall wall made up of white stone. The building itself was basically a Japanese-style castle. So this is where all the money he stole went. Makes me wish that I had killed the midget the first time around, Naruto thought as he approached the gates. "Halt! Who are you?" one of the bandit guards that was guarding the castle yelled. Naruto, not wanting to deal with them, simply burned them to death using Amaterasu. As the screams of the burning guards rang out, the others inside decided to go into high alert. "Root," Naruto called as the 5 emotionless Anbu came to his call. "Kill every bandit, thug, or nuke nin you see. Leave the slaves alone and make sure that Gato doesn't escape. Also, I want Gato team for myself. I plan to be one to make him pay for all that he has done," Naruto ordered. He was ready to Tsukuyomi the fuck out of Gato. "Hi Naruto-sama," the 5 called as they charged the castle. Naruto ignored the fighting outside as he walked into the large house. Anybody that tried to get in his way ended up on the receiving end of a cut from Sabukukas. Normally he wouldn't be this ruthless, but these men were the scum of the world. They enslaved, stole, killed, and raped. Breaking down the wooden door to the house with a small Shinra tensei. He walked down the halls until he came to his destination, Gato's office. Ripping the door off its hinges, he stormed in on the little shit of a bastard Gato, who was in the middle of speaking with a man with slicked back white hair. "Oh, there is your target," Gato said with a cocky smirk. The man turned and grinned madly at Naruto. "So you will be my next sacrifice to Jashin-sama?" the man said as he stood up. He wore a black high-collared black cloak with red clouds. The front of his cloak was open, showing a pendant that seemed to be a triangle inside and ring. "Hide," Naruto said in a hushed voice. He really didn't want to fight the Akatsuki, but now it seemed like he had little choice. "So you're working with the Akatsuki now, Gato?" Naruto said as he blurred behind Gato. "But that's still not enough to save yourself," Naruto roared as he stabbed Gato through the heart before Hayden could even react. "Hey! That was my income source, you motherfucker," Hayden yelled as he charged at Naruto with his triple scythe. Naruto managed to bring his sword up to block the 3 blades from hitting him. He remembered from last time that all Hayden had to do was ingest your blood, then get into his ritual seal and stab himself. While Naruto was now immortal since he was the new Juubi. It was not a good idea to let your opponents find that out, or anybody really, since that could lead to him himself being chased after. Jumping back, he sheathed his sword and started to do hand signs. Haiden, being immortal, didn't care and charged at the Juubi. Kaiten fire dragon's roar. Naruto said as he put his hands together in creating a tube and exhaled into it. A large stream of fire spewed out of the other end. Haiden, not being able to dodge in time, ran head first into the fires. The fires completely charred the office of the once billionaire. Out of the raging fires, Haiden ran out and attempted to decapitate Naruto. Key words were attempted. Time seemed to slow as the scythe approached Naruto's neck. Haiden grinned wildly at the thought of killing the blonde man. Naruto, on the other hand, had a different plan. Jinten shadowless flight. Said to himself as he blurred out of Haiden's way. Naruto appeared over the fires, absorbing them back into himself as he performed another set of hand signs. Suiton water dragon jutsu, Naruto yelled as a large stream of water came out of his mouth and took the shape of a dragon. The water dragon smashed Haiden through the office wall and into the back courtyard of the mansion, which was covered in the blood of the dead bandits. Nice view, Haiden said as he looked at all the blood on the ground. Naruto stepped out of the ruined office and faced Haiden. The silver-haired Nuke Nin's cloak was half burnt now, and he had a few bad burns on his left arm. Damn brat, you are good. No wonder you beat Itachi-san. But you can't kill me since I'm immortal. The crazed shinobi laughed out loud. I know that, Naruto said to the pink-eyed psychopath. The cult of Jashin is able to gain immortality by sacrificing human beings. Like you, I have met gods before, Naruto said as he flicked 3 shurikens at Haiden, who didn't even bother to dodge. So you too worship a god? The insane priest said as he picked off the shuriken stuck to his torso. Well, maybe you should consider joining the cult of Jashin. It's a great thing, you gain immortality and can do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you do, I'll spare you, since Jashin-sama will be displeased if I killed such a strong potential follower, Haiden said as he preached his religion. Naruto's sweat dropped at this. Sorry, but immortality from Jashin is of no use to me, Naruto said before getting into a ready stance. Haiden seemed to get serious now. You dare turn away the will of Jashin? Die, maggot, he roared as he charged at Naruto once more. Naruto, seeing that the fight was not going to stop anytime soon, charged as well. When Naruto got near, he tried to leg sweep Haiden, only for the Akatsuki member to jump over him and try to stab him with the 3 blades of his scythe. Naruto managed to use Jinten to once again dodge the scythe and kicked Haiden in the back of the head. The silver-haired Nuke Nin bounced a few times off the ground before correcting himself. Damn it, die, you son of a bitch, he yelled as he threw the scythe at Naruto, who jumped over it. Haiden smirked as he pulled the wire attached to the scythe, making it turn back and cut Naruto in half. Before Haiden could celebrate, Naruto's body poofed into a log. Naruto appeared to Haiden's left and did a palm thrust to his upper arm. Haiden staggered back as Naruto jumped back. Is that all you have? Haiden roared as he charged at Naruto once more with no regard for his own safety. Naruto smirked at the silver-haired man's attempt to kill him and prepared a few hand signs. As the blade approached his neck, Naruto finished his jutsu. Harassant boundless throw, Naruto whispered into Haiden's ear when the immortal's blade was inches from his neck. In an instant, Haiden flushed away. Far, far away. Haiden arrived in a flash onto a large flat chunk of ice in the middle of the ocean. The only thing there besides him was a large penguin. Haiden looked around at his surroundings to see nothing but the open sea. He couldn't even see any icebergs. What the hell? He yelled to himself as he frantically looked around to see if he could see anything in the distance. Where the hell am I? He cried out to himself. The only response he got was a noise from the penguin. Haiden turned and glared at the flightless bird. If I can't find a sacrifice in 3 days, you're going to have a pike going through your ass and out of your throat. Even if they were separate species, the bird seemed to understand and started to pale rapidly. Back at the wave, Naruto just laughed as he headed back inside Gato's castle to free the slaves. Walking to the lowest level of the building, he came up on several jail cells filled with people of both genders and all ages. Walking down the halls, he broke every lock, releasing the slaves. He came up to the last room, where he heard muffled cries. Breaking down the metal door, he found a girl about his age with spiky mint green hair with an orange clip. Her skin was a deep caramel color. Her eyes were beautiful orange eyes. Her outfit consisted of a short sleeveless white midriff shirt with fishnet armor underneath, long white armlets, and fishnet shorts with a short white apron skirt over it. Naruto recognized her as Fu, the Nanabi Jinchuriki. What was she doing here? She was a Taki Kunoichi, so why was she in one of Gato's jail cells? She was wrapped in chains and chakra suppressors. Fu, are you okay? Naruto asked her. Her head lifted up and glared at him. Why do you care about humans? You here to buy me and use me as a sex toy like what happened to the other slaves. She growled at him. He could see her trying to call on the Nanabi's chakra, but the seals prevented her. Naruto looked at her with sad eyes. Deidara was right, she did hate humanity after all. Fu-san, look, I'm not here to hurt you or any of the other slaves. I'm here to save all of you. Naruto said to her. Fu just scoffed and turned her head away from him. Why would you save me? Did Taki finally see their mistake in selling me to Gato team and send you to get me back? She asked sarcastically. Naruto's eyes widened at this. Taki had sold their Jinchuriki to Gato, how could a hidden village ever approve of that? How the hell did that happen anyways? Shibuki would never do that. The man was a coward, but not cold-hearted enough to sell a girl into slavery. Naruto growled as his power began to rise with his rage. His appearance changed as his whiskers got darker and his eyes turned into their Tengen form. Fu's eyes widened at this, is he a Jinchuriki as well? She asked herself as she saw the man show traits of a Biju. Inside Fu, the Nanabi Chime was spazzing out as she felt the power matched that of all Bijuas, at the same time symbolizing one thing, the Juubi. After a few seconds, Naruto calmed down enough to regress the changes. Sorry you had to see Fu-san. My name is Naruto Namikaze. He apologized as he cut her binds. Are you a Jinchuriki as well? She asked. Tears were building up in her eyes as she looked at Naruto. Naruto tilted his head in confusion. Are you a Jinchuriki? Fu asked, no demand this time. Naruto smiled, no, I'm not a Jinchuriki. Naruto said in a cheery tone. Fu hope fell as she now knew that the man in front of her was not like her. I'm a former Jinchuriki, Naruto yelled as he fist pumped. Fu's head snapped up at this. Former? How the hell are you a former Jinchuriki? The host dies after the Biju is extracted, I know since I saw it happen with my mother. Fu yelled at the blonde, who smiled back, kindly taking her aback. I never had my Biju extracted since I merged with it to become a demon. Naruto said, much to her surprise. Fu's expression was best described as fish-like. Her jaw had dropped and he was gasping. Naruto smirked at this. He loved getting this reaction out of people. Before Fu could ask any questions, Naruto spoke once again. Now let's get these people out of here. Since I'm sure they have been here for far too long. Naruto said to the Jinchuriki, who nodded silently as he walked out of the metal cell with her in tow. The blonde demon led all the people out of the castle and back to the outside world and freedom. Fu kept glancing over at Naruto from time to time. So how were you treated when you were a Jinchuriki? Fu asked. She had to know, was she the only one treated badly, or was it common for regular humans to mistreat Jinchuriki? Naruto smiled sadly, I was treated basically the same as you. I was ignored, overpriced at shops, treated badly, and beaten occasionally. Naruto answered sadly. Fu's hand clenched shut at his answer. Calm down, Fu-san. I wasn't done. I was treated badly until they started to see what I could do, and eventually I gained their respect when I saved my village from destruction. Naruto smiled down at her, since she was a few inches shorter. But they mistreated you. How could you save them? Why would you save them? She cried out to him. Naruto smiled sadly at her. She really had lost her faith in humanity, guess he would have to bring it back. I did it because I wanted to protect my precious people. I wanted to prove to them that they were wrong about me and that I loved the village. Hate leads to conflict. When one shows hate to another, the other hates back. This started a cycle of hatred in the world. The only way to stop it is for a party to stop hating the other. Then peace can be achieved through understanding. Naruto said with a smile as he explained to Fu his way. Fu looked perplexed at this. Stop hating the one that hurt you, and eventually they'll see you for who you are. She bit her lip as she thought about it. Was it possible for her to spot hating humanity? Wise words for such a young man. Naruto heard behind him. Behind him stood a short old lady, her eyes shut with wrinkles. That's a good philosophy you have there. If only more people thought like you, the world would be a better place. She said with a hint of sadness. Yeah, but my dream is to make that happen. That was my sensei's dream, and I promised to him and his first wayward disciple that I would do it, and I will never break my promises, boss-an. Naruto said enthusiastically. Fu looked at Naruto in a new light. He was her savior after all. "That's a good quality, boy." She chuckled. She moved up her sleeve to reveal a seal. She channeled some chakra into it, releasing it. In a puff of smoke she was holding a very large scroll. "This is the Jackal contract. It served me well back in my day. I have no use for it nowadays, so I'm passing it on to you as my way of supporting your cause," she said as she handed the scroll over to Naruto. Naruto eyed the scroll for a second with wide eyes. He had lost his toad contract when he died, so this could serve as his replacement, plus the animal path allowed him to sign several contracts with different animals. "Boss-san, I can't," he started, but stopped when he noticed that she wasn't there anymore. He turned to Fu. "Where did she go?" Fu shook her head. "I didn't know I was looking at the scroll by a man looking for an old bag of bones. She can move fast," Fu said to Naruto, who sealed the scroll away in a seal on his shoulder. "So Fu, where are you going?" Naruto asked the dark-skinned girl. "I don't know. Taki sold me out, so not there," she said with a sad look. She turned to Naruto. "Maybe I can go with you, Naruto-san," she said to Naruto, who nodded. This way he could protect her from the Akatsuki. He went back inside and took Gato's head and sealed it in a scroll. "Well, that's done," Naruto said as he and Fu walked back out of the castle, leaving clones to collect anything of value to give to the people of the wave. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. If you want the next part of this story, let me know in the comment box. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.